Want to bring the witness first or the? Yeah, no. Bring the defendant. Yeah, good. Oh, the witness isn't even here yet? Okay, okay. As soon as you get him, we'll be ready for him. Excuse me? As well as counsel for the state. They've gone to pick up the witness. Are there any matters we need to address, Mr. Sachs?
No, sir.
Or Mr. Cutler?
No, Your Honor.
We'll just be at ease until she gets here. All the jurors are in the jury room. Okay. As soon as we get the witness in place, I'll have you bring them in.
Showing that him.
Uh-huh.
Those clips. head, so I don't have to worry about brushing. She probably needs to know.
Mr. Sachs, do you know what her ETA is?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Oh, okay. Find out and then, because
he's okay with it, I certainly am, but if not.
Yeah, just have to go back to the witness. And I'm gonna ask that the cameras not be turned on and this not be recorded in the court reporter, obviously, we'll take it down,
I don't, he's holding his hand up.
but. Kill the cameras while I need to talk to the witness.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. I see all 14 members of the jury are present. We're ready to proceed again. This witness was under oath when we took our lunch break and remains under oath. Mr. Stacks, you may resume with your direct examination.
Thank you. Mr. Reyes, right before lunch, I had asked you about an AK-47 weapon that you personally own. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And back in January of 2013, do you know where your personal AK-47 was?
Yes, sir.
Where was it?
It was in, I had it, and then you asked me a while ago that if I sold it, and I was like, no, sir, and I never sold it.
Okay. Do you know where it was being kept back in January of 2013?
I had the understanding, like, I thought I knew where it was at, you know. I didn't know, like, where exactly, though.
Okay. Where did you keep that weapon?
I had it at the mother of my child's house, and then,
Is that the one in Newton Grove?
yes, sir.
Okay. And then what happened to it?
My brother got it,
Which brother?
Trigger.
Okay. And where did he bring it?
From what I heard, he put it in, he took it at his baby mama's house.
And what's her name?
It's Mar.
Okay. Is that Itzamar Estrada?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I may approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir, you may.
Sir, I'm going to show you something that's been previously marked for identification as State Exhibit number 4. Do you see that red sticker with the 4 on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ask if you recognize what's inside this box that's marked State Exhibit number 4.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That's AK-47.
Is that your AK-47?
I remember it had a 100 round.
The drum magazine?
Yes.
Okay. And besides that, does it appear to be your AK-47?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember the brand of your AK-47?
No, sir. But I got the receipt.
At home?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Besides the drum, does it look like the AK-47 that you used to own?
No, sir.
Why not?
It just looks different.
Okay. How about the clips? Did you use the clips like this connected together for the AK-47 that you had?
Like I said, it had a 100 round.
When was the last time you actually saw your AK-47?
It's been a long time.
All right. Over a year?
Yes.
You're talking about since now or over a year prior to January 2000?
Oh, I'm sorry, over a year from now. Has it been since a year since you've seen your weapon?
Yes, sir.
In fact, can you even remember the last time you saw your AK-47?
I don't remember.
Were you aware of any other AK-47 weapons that your brother Trigger had?
No, sir.
Were you aware of any other AK-47 weapons or rifles that Miss Estrada had?
No, sir.
Back during the December assault that you talked about, when you were at the vehicle, do you recall ever turning that vehicle off?
I don't think I turned it off.
Okay. Did you ever have the occasion when you were at the window of that vehicle to reach in for any reason that vehicle while those people were inside of it?
Can you say again?
Sure. I'll back up a little bit. When the fight started between Trigger and Mr. Hernandez, you indicated, I think, that you were at the driver's window of the other car. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At that point, how many people are in that car?
One in the passenger and one behind the passenger.
Okay. Did you ever see the passenger, the female from the back seat, come up to the front seat?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you ever have the occasion to reach into that vehicle for any reason whatsoever?
I don't remember.
Um, Specifically with respect to the accessory charge, I think you said you're now charged with accessory to murder, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Was that charge made against you before or after you testified previously back in May of 2013?
After I testified.
Are you aware of, you said you don't have any nicknames that people normally refer to you by, is that correct?
I was short back then, so I mean, they used to call me like, you know, like little, like short, you know, 'cause I was short.
Okay.
But I mean, that was pretty much it.
All right. How about Jonathan and Israel? Were there any nicknames that you knew that they went by?
Not that I recall.
And when you were leaving 708 Colonial Drive after all the gunshots and everything, and you driving away, did they say anything about just what had basically happened in the house?
Just Israel said that he kicked the door, that the door was easy to kick down.
Okay.
And Jonathan had said that he shot a door to make sure nobody was in there and checked it. That's all.
When you were in the front yard of that residence, when you said you were running into the front yard, remind us again, were you hearing any gunshots at that time?
No, at that time.
Did you hear anything else?
I heard a gunshot like when Israel came out the door, when he was standing on the stairs. As soon as he came out, I heard a gunshot. But that was because he was shocked when he saw me, you know.
Did you hear anything else from the house when you were leaving?
I heard a little boy crying
When did you hear that?
when I got out the truck.
Was that before or after Jonathan and Israel came out of the house?
That was when I got out the truck. That's when I heard a baby crying.
That means Jonathan and Israel were still in the house?
Yes, sir.
When you heard that baby crying, did it start dawning on you that something was wrong here?
Can you say that again?
Sure. When you heard that baby crying, did it start dawning on you? Did you start realizing that something was wrong here?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when you finally got back into your truck, did you ask him about the baby?
I asked what happened, and they didn't like tell me exactly what happened, but I asked what happened.
You had said earlier that you asked if they got Sancho and El Morguesa, correct?
I really said if they were there.
If they were there.
Yes, sir.
Did they indicate whether they were there or not?
He told me that yes, he was there.
Who said that?
Jonathan.
Well, when you had your incident with those two back in December of 2012, was there any baby involved in that case?
On December 4th?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay. So now that you've heard this baby crying here, did you ask about the baby that might have been present in the house?
I was too flustered at the moment, so I didn't know how to act.
Okay. So y'all never talked about it?
No, sir.
Did they make any statements about it?
They said one statement, but I mean, we ain't talk about it. They just said that they didn't shoot a kid because they figured that he was going to be traumatized for the rest of his life.
Thank you, sir. I don't have anything further.
Cross-examination.
Okay.
One moment, please. Good afternoon, Mr. Reyes.
Good afternoon.
I want to talk to you about your testimony regarding December 4th, first. So you indicated that the four of you were together? How
Yes,
did
sir.
you get together?
I picked him up.
You went to Jonathan's house?
Yes, sir.
Did you pull up in his driveway?
I think I pulled up in the. I don't really remember.
And y'all were going to buy some weed?
Yes, sir.
Do you smoke weed?
No, sir.
Did you smoke weed back then?
Way back in the day, yes.
But not on December 4th?
No, on December 4th.
Not on January 5th?
No, sir.
Okay. And I believe you said that before you could get to the weed man, you passed some people getting in a car,
Yes, sir.
and that someone from your vehicle said, "Is that Sancho?" or "There's Sancho," something like that?
Yes, sir.
And you said that came from the back of the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And I believe you testified that you continued to travel, but you thought they might be following you, so you turned around?
Yes, sir.
And when you turned around, then you saw that they had come in your direction.
Yes, sir.
And that bothered you, that they might have been following you?
I mean, I was just curious.
Okay. And you didn't know who Sancho was or anything about Sancho before that day?
No, sir.
And so you drove back in the same direction as them, correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you block the road so they couldn't get by you?
No, sir.
Okay. But they just started backing up?
Yes, sir.
Why would they, you don't know why they backed up?
No, sir.
And you continued to follow them?
Yes, sir.
Did you yell Sancho or something about?
I didn't know him, so I didn't know his
So
name.
you didn't
I
say
just heard.
anything? Okay. But you decided to follow them
Yes, sir.
just because somebody in your vehicle said Sancho?
That and because I was curious of why they was trying to follow us.
And the reason you think they were trying to follow you is because they turned the same direction as you out of their driveway?
Yeah, but then when I turned around, they stopped and reversed. So I mean, I kind of felt like that was not ordinary.
Would that mean, did you take that as an aggressive move, that they were backing away from you, or that it might have been afraid of you?
No, I didn't take it as an aggressive move. I just I was curious and I was gonna ask like what's going on.
Okay. So no one else in the car said to follow them?
I heard one guy say like something about that Sancho's, and I mean, I didn't like really get the exact words. I don't really remember.
But so you followed them on your own?
Not really. I just listened to what somebody said in the back, and then then at the same time I was curious on my own, so it's pretty much.
So did your brother, Pablo, ever say anything to you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember him saying anything?
I don't remember.
Okay. And I just want to make sure, Daniel Pablo Reyes is your brother, correct?
Sir.
And he goes by Trigger?
Yes, sir.
So Daniel and Pablo and Trigger are all the same person?
Yes, sir.
And is he your oldest brother?
Yes, sir.
How old is he now?
2 years older than me.
How old are you?
21.
So your curiosity led you to pull up beside this vehicle that was, had turned around and was parked facing you?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you're testifying to?
That and because I heard somebody in the back say, something about following, but I don't really remember.
And so, it's your testimony that when you got to that vehicle, that the driver got out and approached you aggressively?
Yes, sir.
And that frightened you?
In a way, yes.
And that's why you got your gun?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you say anything to him?
I mean, I told him to, like, it'd be better for him to leave because I don't want nothing to happen.
So you were like, you didn't want any trouble, he needs to leave?
I told him just to get away from me, it's better to leave because, my brother wasn't going to like him talking, insulting me in that way.
So he was talking mean by what? Saying
By
what?
Saying that he wanted to fight me and stuff.
Okay. So he wanted to fight you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know why?
Not sure.
Did you ask him where Sancho was?
I think so.
Did he ask you why?
He just said he wanted to fight me then.
Okay. So why didn't you fight him?
Because I mean I wasn't like, the type of person to fight a lot.
Okay. But your brother came around and punched him,
Yes, sir.
and they started fighting.
Yes, sir.
And you testified you went over to the driver's side window or door of the other vehicle,
Yes, sir.
and you advised them not to do anything?
I mean, I just advised them not to get out of the car so they won't, go towards my brother and try to get him too,
But you said you had the gun
Visible.
visible, but that you didn't
I did not point.
point the gun at them
No, sir.
at any time?
No, sir.
And I believe you said you did see a male in the front passenger seat
Yes, sir.
and a female
In the back.
in the back. And do you remember the female getting into the driver's seat?
I don't remember.
Okay. So you don't remember that at all?
Not really, because, it's just been a long time, man,
So do you just not remember pointing the gun at her head?
I did not point a gun.
You did not point a gun?
I had it visible, like I said.
And you just don't remember reaching in and turning off the ignition?
I just don't remember because it's been a long time.
Well, why would you have done that?
I mean, like I said, I don't remember, so how am I going to answer that question?
Well, you said you don't remember. I mean, can you think of a reason why you would cut the engine off?
I mean, are you asking me to assume something? Like,
I'm asking you why you would have cut the engine off, if you did.
if I did, I don't know how to answer that.
Okay. But you don't know if you did or not. Is that your answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you wouldn't have had a problem with them leaving, then they couldn't have helped against your brother, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you'd been fine with them just driving away, wouldn't you?
That's what they did eventually.
Right. And that's after you walked away from the vehicle to help your brother, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've testified that there were only 4 of you in that vehicle that day, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that you testified earlier that at some point Jonathan got out of the vehicle,
Yes, sir.
and but you didn't testify earlier about Israel.
He never got a vehicle. He just, when he shot up at the direction where Morgesa was at, he never got a vehicle. He was like still in the truck.
So Israel never got out of the vehicle,
No, sir.
but he fired a gun?
Yes, sir.
In the direction of,
Like in the direction,
Hamburguesa?
but like in the air, you know. But direction where he was at.
so the only people that fought with Juan were you and your brother?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a BB gun or a real gun?
A real gun.
And I believe you testified today that you saw Jonathan with a gun as well,
Yes, sir.
and you heard shots,
Yes, sir.
but you didn't see him fire the gun.
It came from his direction.
Okay. How far away was he from where you were?
Probably like a couple, you know, like 2-3 feet, something like that.
So from how close, if you could
Let's
use
say
something?
from where you're at and where I'm at.
Okay, from me to you.
Yes.
So would you say that might be more like 20 feet?
I'm not really good, you know, with feet, so
Or maybe, all right. So there were 2 guns fired that day on
Yes, sir.
December 5th,
yes, sir.
or 4th, sorry. How many times did you hear shots coming from the direction of Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
How many?
Like 2 or 3.
How many shots did Israel fire?
I don't recall.
Now, was this, how often had you and your brother and Jonathan and Israel gone riding around?
That was my first time.
So that's the first time you had ridden around with Jonathan
Yeah.
and Israel? Obviously, you'd ridden around with your brother before,
Yeah, I
right?
rode around with my brother before.
So when you went and picked up Jonathan and Israel that day, was that the first time you'd been to their house?
No, because I've been to their house before, because I know their older Israel's older brother.
All right, and what's his name?
Elias.
And how old is Alias?
Not sure.
Is he your age?
Around
Around your age? How'd you know Alias?
from school.
But you had not been to Jonathan's house?
No, sir.
So when you picked, I think I may have asked you, but where did you pick them up at that day?
On the, I don't remember. You know, I think it was on dirt path.
What's a dirt path?
Like it's like like another road close to their house.
Was there a reason you wouldn't go to their house?
Yes, because Jonathan's mother is you know, she'll get mad if I go to their house.
So Jonathan's mother didn't want you coming to their house?
I mean, she never told me like verbally towards me, but I mean, Jonathan advised me.
Do you know if she's ever called the police when you've come to the house?
No, sir.
Do you remember telling the police that she would call the police if you came to Jonathan's house?
Excuse me?
Do you remember telling the police in an interview that Jonathan's mother would call the police if you came to his house?
I don't remember.
Okay. So, I believe you said you went, y'all got back in the truck, you left, you went to your house,
Yes, sir.
and then at some point you took Israel and Jonathan home?
I don't really remember.
You don't remember?
No, sir.
Do you remember if Jonathan's mother called the police that night?
Not from my, knowledge. I never know.
Okay. Where did you drop them off? Or you don't remember going back there?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember anything after the
I
shooting?
mean, I don't remember, it's just been too long. I just don't remember exactly everything.
Okay. Well, do you remember going back to Jonathan's after that?
After the shooting?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
When's the next time you went to Jonathan's or Israel's house after the shooting?
I would say January 4th.
So did you ever go riding around with Jonathan in Israel after December 4th?
I don't know, sir.
Pardon?
No, sir.
Did you talk to Jonathan or Israel after December 4th?
I think it was a text message.
And when, who text messaged you?
Jonathan.
Did you text message them?
Jonathan text messaged me.
And when was that?
Around January 4th.
Okay, but no communication prior to between December 4th and January 4th?
I would say so.
And so the text message you're referring to is that the one you testified to earlier that you got from Jonathan
Yes, sir.
on January 4th,
Yes, sir.
sometime that evening?
Yes, sir.
And in response to that text message, you went, and it's your testimony, you went and picked up Jonathan in Israel?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all talk on the phone?
I don't think so.
Now, you, going back to the December 4th incident, you testified that you had today that you had a .380 semi-automatic pistol,
Yes, sir.
black,
Yes, sir.
so it wasn't chrome,
No, it wasn't chrome.
and you sold that gun,
Yes, sir.
but you said you knew that it wasn't really involved in the assault, but you just sold it because
Financial reasons.
financial reasons. Okay. What other guns did you have at that time?
I think the AK-47.
How long had you had the .380?
I don't remember.
And did you always keep the .380 with you?
Sometimes, yes.
Now, it's your testimony you are not in a gang,
Yes, sir.
but that your brothers are?
Yes, sir.
And people just think you're in a gang
Yes, sir.
because your brothers are?
Yes, sir.
And you look like you're in a gang? Is that what,
Yes, sir.
you have tattoos?
I got one tattoo on my neck.
Do you have 3 marks on your eyebrow?
Those are scars
What are they scars from?
from childhood.
Would that mean anything if you had done that intentionally?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay. You have other brothers as well, correct?
2 stepbrothers, 2 little stepbrothers.
How old are they?
About 10, 13. something like that.
So your other brother, other than Pablo or Trigger, is what's his name?
Ismail,
How old is Ismail?
22.
And his nickname is
Loke.
what? Loke. Now, was Loke incarcerated at the time of the December 4th assault? Is he in jail?
Yes.
And did he get out of jail prior to January 5th?
I don't know exactly when he got out, but I know he got out soon.
He was out of jail on January 4th of 2013, wasn't he?
Don't remember.
Don't remember? And so it's your testimony that when you went and got Jonathan, you thought that they were just going to scare some people,
Yes, sir.
Hamburguesa and Sancho.
Yes, sir.
And the reason, and you wanted to do that too. I think you even said that.
Yes, sir.
And the reason that y'all needed to scare them was what?
So they won't testify against my brother.
Well, he had not been charged with anything related to the assault, had he?
At the time, I think so.
So you thought he had been?
I thought he got charged with assault with deliberate infliction of injury.
Okay. Were you charged
Yes, sir.
at that time?
Yes, sir.
So at the time of the murders?
Oh, no, afterwards.
Okay, so your brother had not been charged with assault at the time of the murders, had he?
Yes, but no, but he was there was a lot of detectives after him for some reason.
Okay, so you were concerned that there were a lot of detectives after him,
Yes, sir.
but he hadn't been charged with an assault as of January 5th, had he?
I don't know.
You hadn't been charged as of January 5th, had you?
No, sir.
And you didn't know of any other reason that your brother and Sancho had any problems with each other?
I did not know no other reason.
Now, you say you picked up Jonathan and Israel, and they had a big duffel bag,
Yes, sir.
and it was blue,
Blue or black.
and you went over to Colonial Drive and you dropped them off, or let them out,
Yes, sir.
and they told you to stay
Yes, sir.
because your family had been through enough.
Yes, sir.
And what did you take that to mean?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just felt like, I guess they just want to go beat them up themselves. So I guess they just wanted to go beat them up themselves. So, I mean,
What had your family been through?
a lot, like my brothers were locked up and stuff like that, you know, just a lot of, my mom and dad separated, you know, stuff like that. Like, I don't know what he meant, I don't know what he was thinking, but I know it was something related to my brothers being locked up.
And that had been difficult for you?
Yes, sir.
You were close to them?
Yes, sir.
And then you hear gunshots, and you drive in front of the house,
Yes, sir.
and you get out,
Yes, sir.
and you run close to the house or in the yard, and they come out.
Yes, sir.
And then what happens when they come out?
Israel, when he came out, he was the last one. So when he came out, he shot a gunshot like toward the floor because he was shocked when he saw me. He thought I was somebody else.
So he just pulled the trigger out of fright.
Yes.
And did you all run to the truck together?
I just know I just went to the truck and they just jumped in the truck too. I mean, I would
I'm
say
assuming
yes.
you were all running at the same time from the house.
I would say yes.
Okay. And the truck was facing. If you were standing at the truck looking at the house, which way was the truck facing?
The truck was facing old stage.
Would that be left or right if you're facing the house?
Left side.
Okay. So you had to run around the truck.
Yes, sir.
Did you run around or did you jump in
No, I
the
ran
passenger
around.
side?
I ran around.
Okay. And do you recall where the other individuals jumped in the car?
They jumped in the back.
Now, you've testified that initially there wasn't any conversation about what happened, and you took them home. And then I think you were asked some questions, and you said there was some conversation.
I mean, I don't really I'm not, don't really remember everything exactly, but if you remind me, I mean, I can say, if you give me a fresh image of what you thought, and I mean, I don't know, I just feel like.
All right, well, let me just ask you, did you, when you said you took them back to their house, correct?
Yes, sir.
And they got out with all of their stuff?
Yes, sir.
Did you go inside?
No, sir.
And did you check your truck later and figure out that they had taken all their stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they even took this chrome 45 that they had given you?
Yes, sir.
And they took masks and gloves and everything they had with them?
Everything they came in the truck with, they took.
And did you talk to either Israel or Jonathan after that night?
After that night, I think so.
Who did you talk to?
Jonathan.
Did you talk to him about what had happened?
Something about I told him what I saw on the news.
Did you tell him what you had done at the house?
No.
Now, you were picked up on January 11th by the police, correct?
I don't know what day I was picked up, but I just know I was picked up.
Okay, so there was a time you were picked up not too long after the murders.
Yes, sir.
And you went in and were asked a bunch of questions, correct?
Yes, sir.
And is it fair to say that you weren't truthful?
I mean, I didn't say nothing at the first interview. I didn't even say nothing in the first interview.
You didn't say nothing?
I didn't agree to, talk to him about nothing. I wouldn't say I was lying about stuff, being truthful and stuff.
Well, let me just ask you about that interview. Do you remember do you remember what vehicle you were driving when you were arrested?
I would say the Dodge Durango.
Do you remember them asking you, if you had driven that vehicle before that night?
Before that night, I don't remember.
Do you remember telling them you'd never driven that vehicle before that night?
I did drove it, but I mean, I didn't I didn't remember what I said that day.
Okay, you don't remember what you said. Do you remember them asking if your family was or were gang members?
Like I said, I don't remember what I said that day and what they told me.
Okay. So you don't remember saying that they were not gang members?
I don't remember.
And do you remember them showing you pictures?
Yes, I
Of
remember
your
they showed me
brothers?
pictures.
That appeared to be gang type activity?
Yeah, I remember the pictures.
And then do you remember then saying, okay, they are in gangs?
Yes.
Okay. But you denied being in any kind of gang, correct?
Correct.
And you deny knowing anything about Serrano 13 or VDM, correct?
Only from, general knowledge.
And you denied being at the scene of this assault from December 4th and the murders from January 5th, correct? Do you remember denying that?
I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember what was said that day.
How many times do you remember talking to the police?
About 3 times,
Okay. So the first time you don't really have any memory?
pretty much.
Do you remember them asking you if you'd ever seen a gun before?
Kind of get an idea, yeah.
And you'd only seen one on TV? You remember telling them that? You'd only seen a gun on TV?
Yes.
Okay. And that you'd never held a gun before, correct? You remember telling them that?
No, I don't remember.
At some point, do you remember them talking about a video on your phone where you're shooting
Yeah, I remember that.
an AK-47 with your brother?
Yes.
Okay. And so they kind of confronted you with that information that you
Yes,
had
sir.
lied about, right?
Yes, sir.
And you indicated you didn't know Jonathan or Israel. You remember that?
Don't remember.
Told them you never heard of the name Sancho before.
I never heard of the name.
You hadn't heard of the name then?
I mean, I never knew Sancho, so I mean, I don't know him.
But you'd heard the name, right?
I may have heard the name, yeah, but I mean, I didn't know him though.
That's what the whole incident on December 4th was about, right?
Yeah.
Some name of Sancho.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you told me you never heard the name before. Right. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
I mean, like I said, I don't remember what I said that day in the interview, so I mean, you keep on asking me questions, and I don't remember.
And you testified today that you hadn't smoked marijuana for a long time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Way before December 4th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they asked you if you smoked marijuana, and you would have said no, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You remember them asking you why you had rolling papers in your wallet?
It's a forced habit.
So you did have rolling papers in your wallet when you got arrested?
I mean, I don't remember what I had in my wallet. I mean, it's so long.
Now, on that first time you were arrested and talked to the officers, were you released? You were not charged with anything, correct?
I think I was charged with driving with license revoked, something like that.
Okay, something minor?
Yes.
Were you able to get out of jail?
Yeah, I bonded out.
Okay. And then you were picked up, you remember, I think you were picked up on January 17th, maybe 6 days later, and charged with charges relating to the assault.
I wasn't picked up. I came to them.
Okay? You came to them. Did you talk to them on that date?
Nah, they just arrested me and took me to annex.
Do you remember them asking you if you would like to talk, and you said you did not want to?
I remember that.
Okay. So do you remember the next time you talked to the detectives, and Investigator Barefoot being one of them, was in March?
Yes.
I believe March 25th?
Yes.
And do you, and you had a lawyer, correct?
Yes, sir.
It wasn't Ms. Darrow at that time, correct? It was someone else.
There was someone else.
And he arranged a meeting so you could talk to the detectives, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was at your request?
Yes, sir.
And that is the first time you mentioned that Jonathan and Israel were involved in both of these cases, correct?
Yes, sir.
And in that meeting, were you hoping to help yourself by telling things to the police?
I was hoping.
And do you recall telling the police that on the day of the shooting, the December 4th shooting, that you had a black BB gun?
Yes, I was scared. I mean, I didn't know what to say because it's my first time ever being in trouble.
So you thought you shouldn't tell the truth about having a real gun?
I thought if I had a real gun that they were going to give me more charges, so I was just scared, and I mean, I didn't want to get in more trouble than what I was already in.
So you did tell things that were not true
Yes.
because you were scared?
Yes.
Okay. But you were trying to help yourself as well, correct?
Yes.
And do you remember telling the police and Investigator Barefoot that when you were riding, that the people drove by and looked at you real hard, and that's why you followed them? You remember telling Detective Barefoot that? Investigator Barefoot?
Don't remember.
You don't remember that? You didn't tell him anything about Sancho, or that the word name Sancho was involved in that conversation with the officers about what happened on the assault, correct?
Like on the second interview,
Yes.
I remember telling them something about it.
Do you remember telling them that the reason you followed the vehicle and confronted them was because they were staring at you in a mean way?
I mean, I don't remember that.
You don't? Okay. And in that interview, do you remember telling the officers that your family members, you didn't know if they were in a gang or not?
I mean, I said something about my brothers being in the gang.
You said what?
Something about my brothers being in the gang.
And they asked you again if you'd ever fired a gun. You remember that?
Yes.
And maybe that's when they asked you if you'd ever, I might have misspoke earlier when I said in that first interview they asked you that. In that second interview they asked you about firing a gun, correct?
Yes.
And you remember telling them that you'd only fired a .22?
I would say so.
And at some point during that interview, they talked to you about a video they had seen where you were fired an AK-47, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you were not telling the truth when you said you only fired a .22, correct?
Yes, I mean, I was scared, you know, like I said before, I just didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to say, because, I mean...
You didn't know how to tell the truth?
I mean, I was scared, I mean, I've never been locked up before, so it's my first time ever.
Were you scared of being charged for murder?
Not really. I mean, I was just scared I was gonna get charged with stuff that will carry a lot of time.
But not murder,
I wasn't scared of murder.
and not assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Just possession of a gun.
That and like some kind of involvement in the incidents.
All right, well, so in that interview, you said that Jonathan fired a gun, and so did Israel, correct? At the December 4th assault.
Yes, sir.
And then, when I asked you about the homicide case, you told them that, did you not, that Jonathan had called you to see if you could come get him, to take him to buy some weed?
Mm-hmm.
You remember telling him that?
Yes.
And that he offered you some money to come give him a ride to buy some weed?
I mean, he gave me some money, yeah.
So he did give you some money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you take him to buy weed?
I mean, later I told him the truth.
Okay, so the truth, what you told them on that date was that you went to pick them up to buy weed, and then they ended up having all these guns, and they asked you to drop them off at Colonial Drive, correct?
Yeah, I said that.
But you testified today that they did pay you $30 to do that?
Yes.
Okay, so that was true,
Yes.
that they called you to buy weed?
No, it was true that he gave me $30 for for gas.
So you're saying the night that they called you to go beat up somebody, he paid you $30 for gas?
Yes.
When did that transaction take place?
Not sure.
Before the murders or after?
I think after.
Okay, so after you had been shocked by all these shots that were fired, and you heard a baby cry, and you took him home, you asked him for $30?
I mean, I said I think after. I didn't say I know.
Did you give the police your accurate phone number for your phone that you had back on January 4th?
I don't remember.
Do you remember giving them your phone number?
I don't remember.
Oh, sure, that's fine.
Members of the jury, it's now 10 minutes to 4. I'm going to release you until 4:05 for the afternoon break. Please keep in mind the rules. Leave your notebooks there in the chair. Don't talk about this matter among yourselves, or allow anybody to talk about it in your presence. Don't form any opinions about anything that you've heard, and don't conduct any research or investigation. I'm going to ask everyone to remain seated while the jury is excused. Let the record reflect that all members of the jury have left the court remaining in this state.
Made it.